Hello, this is the luckiest maths teacher in the world. Today we look at finding a percent of a quantity. First we have a look at the basics of percentages. So you know this symbol means percent and that means per 100. So the point of percentages is to give us an easy way to compare things. For example, you might get 21 out of 30 on your first maths test, and then you might get 36 out of 45 on your second maths test. It's hard to know which is better. It's hard to know which is a bigger number, 21 over 30 or 36 over 45. So what we can do is we can convert this to a percent so that you can compare them nice and easily. So essentially what we're doing is with percentages is we're making a number a fraction over 100. And that's what percents actually mean. 40%, for example, means 40 over 100. You can simplify that to 2 over 5, but that's what it means. 40 per 100 or 40 over 100, that is equal to 0.4. So fractions and decimals are just other ways that you can write percentages. And that's important because that's what we're going to use when we find a percent of a quantity. So if you have a percent, 32% or whatever, there is only one way that you can write it as a fraction. There is only one way you can write it as a decimal. So if I wanted to say find 40% of something, so let's say I wanted to find 40% of, say, $60. So what that is saying is I'm going to take $60. I could get, heaps and heaps of 5-cent pieces or whatever, 1,200 5-cent pieces, and I'd have $60. So when I'm finding 40% of that, what I'm doing is I'm dividing that collection of 5-cent pieces into 100 groups. And when I say how much is 40%, I'm asking how much money would be in 40 out of those 100 groups. Well, essentially, all I'm saying is what is 40 hundredths of $60? So that's pretty simple. Remember that of means multiply. As I just told you, 40% is the same as 40 over 100. So I change the of to multiply. And there I have it. I can just put this straight in my calculator and I get $24. So that's how you find the percent of a quantity. 2 very simple steps which I will now put up for you. Please pause the video and copy down this example if you need it. So each time you just follow these 2 simple steps. First convert the percentage to a decimal or fraction and then multiply that decimal or fraction by the quantity. So please make sure you understand this is what we're doing when we already know the percent of something. So this isn't the same way we would do something like, if I got 21 out of 30 in my maths test, what is my result as a percentage? Here I'm not converting a number to a percentage, I'm finding a percent of a quantity. So let's just do another example. So let's say I wanted to find 12.5% of 128. Okay, I'm just going to follow these 2 steps. Step 1, I'm going to convert this to a decimal or a fraction. Either way, it doesn't matter. I'm going to use a fraction. You can write 12.5 over 100 on your calculator, and then I just multiply by the quantity. So that is step 2. Put that in my calculator. I get 16. Okay, no worries. So I just have to show you one more type of question. Again, please copy down this example if you need by pausing the video now. So now I'm going to do a question that is, well, probably looks like the same type of question, but it's not. And it's important that you know the difference between them. So I'll go through this example here. 36% of a certain number is 45. What is the number? So this is not asking you to find 36% of 45. So I'm not just going to go 0.36 times 45. That is going to give me the wrong answer. What I'm saying is not what is 36% of 45, but what number can I take 36% of it and be left with 45. So let's just call the number x. So I don't know what it is at this stage. So let x equal the number that I'm trying to find. So I'm going to use the idea from the previous examples, but it's going to be done in a slightly different way. So what this is saying is that if I take 36% of this number, remember 36% is the same as 0.36, then I get 45. So this is just an equation you know how to solve. If I want to find what x is, I just divide 45 by 0.36. So notice in this case, we're dividing, whereas in the previous case, we ended up multiplying. And that's because this is a different type of question. So we now put this on our calculator, and you get 125. So what that is saying is if I take 36% of 125, the answer I get will be 45. Let's just do another example like that. Now I wrote all the let x equal stuff out just to show you how it works, but you don't need to do that. You can probably skip straight to the division. All right, so let's go through this example in red. 60% of a number is 42. What is the number? So I could say let x equal the number and do what I did in the previous example. The astute of you will know that all I have to do is take the quantity and divide by the number as a decimal or a fraction. It's just going to be 42 divide 0.6. I'm dividing in this case because I don't know the original number I started with. And if you do that, the answer you get is of course 70. So that is correct because if I take 60% of 70, then I get 42. This has been the luckiest maths teacher in the world. Have a great day.